Hello everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. In this video, we've got the Bachelor producers manipulating their contestants. Surprise? No. She's All Batch podcast did a fantastic interview with Jillian Anderson, and they talked about producer manipulation, where Jillian says they withhold food. And of course, the ladies were like, huh? Withhold food? What are they doing out there? You know, obviously they don't pay the contestants. They're just there trying to find love. Well, apparently love doesn't come with a little bit of a food break here and there. So we'll get into their reaction. It's super hilarious. And we'll look at a few questions here, like the 10 signs you're probably in a cult. Is The Bachelor a cult? This is a question we have to ask with a little bit of some X-Files music. Are you in a cult? Blink twice if you've never been given food. Or they go 16 hours without breaks sometimes. So pretty wild stuff. If this was the Screen Actors Guild, they would have had to close the set down. But of course, not a union. Join my union on Instagram. Follow me at DNeals right there. If you really want to be a part of the fun club, go to patreon.com/Dave Neal. We do private bonus live streams just about every working day. I call it Work with Dave. And I'm going to be releasing a new segment of Work with Dave. Check this out. Here we go. I'm calling this segment that I've got coming up, let's call it Movie Theater Dave. And here it is. And I'm just going to be doing a full movie theater presentation presenting the newest version of Dave. You've seen him from such hits as Colton Underwood's Text Messages Revealed, and also Katie's 12 Days of Mess. From the guys who brought you a perfect hairline comes the insecurity and narcissism of a man who is a failed comedian, according to Reddit. Okay, let's just get into the story. 10 signs you're probably in a cult. We'll do that in a second, but let's just first watch the She's All Batch clip. They're fantastic. Quickly becoming... sorry. Hold on a second. Boy. Hold on. Cancel it. Grab your popcorn. Sorry. Technical error there. It's a Friday. Give me a break. It's free. Stephanie and Jackie are quickly becoming my favorite... my favorite Bachelor recappers. You know, hey, look, I'm like that, moms. You're all my favorite kids, but some days they just get me with their hilarious sort of reactions. Let's have a watch as Jillian just flippantly says, oh, yeah, they withhold food.
The moment I wouldn't kiss JJ, that they were like, she's done. Remember, I didn't get fed that night. And they get me in the car.
No. Don't just graze over that.
They withhold food.
Look out. And then she just gets closer to the screen. I love it when they're like, huh? Even no taquitos? They're not even giving you cold cuts? Chad Johnson got cold cuts. You never, listen, this is what I learned. You want a happy relationship? You never withhold food from your lady. I just keep a bag of almonds in I have a man purse. I keep a bag of almonds, and if Tasha starts acting up, I just start throwing food at her like she's an angry pigeon. Take my calories.
And I didn't get fed that day. And I was so hungry.
No, you're grazing over it again. What do you mean they withhold food?
Like, you can't just go get food. I mean,
why?
Don't feed you. Where are you going to get it? You're stranded in the middle of nowhere. There's no kitchen.
Producers didn't feed me, featuring Jillian Anderson. Yeah, first of all, that's the reason why Colton jumped over the fence. He wasn't hiding from his inevitable coming out of the closet. He wasn't running away in Portugal for any other reason other than the guy wanted food. He was hungry. He was a big guy. He was in a calorie deficit. He's like, I'm going to... Anyway, so very interesting stuff. I wanted to play one more clip from She's All Batch. Part of what we like to do here is, like, I've got my audience. People have theirs. It's always good to just promote each other's creative work. This is a good thing. So here they are talking about Peter Weber's mom. Have a listen to Jackie discuss the conversation she had with Peter's mom. And of course, Stephanie wins an Oscar for her reactions.
But so I was reaching out to potential guests the other day for the podcast, and who responded to me but none other than Sweetnums. And so I had reached out to her, just being like,
Barb, hey, everyone.
Yes, and
people that don't know.
For people that don't know, Sweetnums is Barb, Peter's mom's Instagram handle. So I had just asked her, like, hey, we would love to interview you for She's All Batch. And she just said, hi, Jackie, I'm sorry, but I don't associate myself with the show. And I said, totally get that. No worries. We like to take a different angle than a normal recap podcast and would like to ask about production manipulation and other background things. Not sure if that changes your decision, but totally understood if you've moved on from all that. And she goes, let me put it this way. I would never encourage anyone to go on that show. And remember, all that glitters is not gold, winky face. Manipulation, crying emoji. And then I just kind of said, totally agreed. We're shocked by some of the things we've heard interviewing past contestants. Well, if you ever change your mind, let me know. I'd love to hear your side of the story. And she just said, of course, wishing much success.
Aww.
All right, so there she is. It's Peter Weber's mom saying it's all manipulation, and of course, She's All Batch podcast can be seen in the YouTube clip form on YouTube, and also, I believe anywhere you can get podcasts, Spotify, places like that. So definitely check out their full conversations. Ton of fun. But let's go to 10 signs you're probably in a cult. How about that? I haven't read these yet, so let's just see if any of these apply to Bachelor Nation. I feel okay. Number one. I'll keep on playing the X-Files music. The leader is the ultimate authority. The leader being the producers of The Bachelor. All right, that's right. I mean, they hold on to your passports, right? They take all your information. They take your cell phones, so they really don't give you a chance to leave. Cults begin with a charismatic leader. Looking at you, Chris Harrison, or Jesse Palmer, who claims some supreme knowledge. They may call themselves a prophet, messiah, messenger, or an enlightened teacher. But I feel like it's describing me. This is me, like over here. Look, I don't pretend to be a messiah or anything, but I'm just telling you, if you just, wanted to join the Patreon, you could be part of this membership here. They call me Messenger Dave. I'm the enlightened teacher of all. Anyway, there's a rock version? Okay, anyway, I digress. All right, sorry, ADD, ADHD, yeah, you know me. Anyway, wrong one. So let's go back to it. So, all right, cult leader, got it. The group suppresses skepticism. If you're only allowed to study your organization through approved sources, you're probably in a cult. All right, well, I would say that's clickbait podcast, right? The Bachelor podcast, Bachelor Happy Hour. If you're like Katie Thurston and you have that moment, that Truman Show moment where you break away from the why am I still in this one? Grab your popcorn, folks. Sorry, I'm still in movie theater Dave there. Yeah, it's like, the Katies and the Blake Horsemans and those people that speak out against the show. They're kind of suppressed by the North Korean communist media known as clickbait podcast. And someone the other day said, Dave, why do you hate Grocery Store Joe so much? First of all, I have no problems with Grocery Store Joe. You can criticize a point and not the person. I think they did a bad job of covering the topic of Katie versus Nick. I don't think they had any of the right information. And also, I think Grocery Store Joe and Riley did a bad job of how they handled Alana and Chris Conran on their season of Bachelor in Paradise. It doesn't mean I don't like them as a person. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure I'd have a nice convo if I had a beer with him and buy his pasta sauce. It's nothing personal. I want to normalize that, guys. I want to normalize that like it doesn't have to be some crazy feud. You can just disagree with people once in a while. All right, number 3, the group delegitimizes former members. Okay, we said that when they kind of like ostracize people from their group. And obviously, a true cult is like very different than The Bachelor show. We're making sort of a light comparison. If anyone does have a family member in a true cult, there are probably resources that you can help try to connect with them. I can only imagine that would be a horrifying experience. The group is paranoid about the outside world. Well, that's true. They all start to only become friends with themselves because the outside world, you try to go on Bumble and then people post screenshots to Reddit. It's like, can't a guy pump his Palmer in peace? Good alliteration, Dave. Thank you so much. Coming up next on the next movie version of Pump Your Palmer in Peace, Dave Neal will be... Okay, I don't really like this version. I don't know, it's just too much shredding. We'll go back to the standard version. Is there anything better? I was having this, I think it was the Bachelorette yesterday posted about movie theaters, and I was saying there's nothing better than a giant tub of popcorn going to the movie theater. I didn't go for a few years during the pandemic, and I finally went to see Top Gun 2. I cried. That's okay. Put a little salty tears in the old popcorn. That's fine with me. I cry at weird movies. I can't tell you how many Adam Sandler movies have made me cry. It's like I need some unpacking to do. All right, let's move it on. The group relies on shame cycles. If you need your group in order to feel worthy, loved, or sufficient, you're probably in a cult. Cult leaders trap members in shame cycles by imposing abnormally strict codes of conduct. Diet, appearance, sex, relationships. All right, maybe, yeah, they kind of slut shame you till you go into the fantasy suites and feeling guilty. Okay, I don't know, maybe not. It's a stretch. The leader is above the law. Well, okay, sort of. The producers kind of get to write their own rules. They pretty much create a system that doesn't exactly follow the Constitution. Like, it's like when you're in the Bachelor show, you are on their time. You are in the government of Bachelor. You are not in the United States. The group uses thought reform methods. If your serious questions are answered with cliches, you're probably in a cult. Indoctrination or brainwashing is the process through which a cult slowly breaks down a person's sense of identity and ability to think rationally. Well, they definitely break down thinking rationally, that's for sure. Everyone goes, but that came out of their mouth. They said it. Yeah. Yeah, 4 weeks into not having their phone, away from their family, sleep deprived, food deprived. Yeah, maybe they did say some weird stuff. The group is elitist. If your group is the solution for all the world's problems, you're probably in a cult. All right, that Nick Vial calling Chris Conran and chasing a bunch of nobodies. Yeah, there's some elitism. It's kind of like high school behavior. And again, Nick Vial didn't necessarily say that he follows those views, but he understands the elitism that exists in the way that the show presents itself and the hierarchy within the show. This elitism creates greater sense of group unity and responsibility centered on a united purpose. That united purpose is to gain a big Instagram following. There is no financial transparency. Well, that's kind of true too. There isn't much of a financial transparency in the sense that, you know, the contestants are only being paid in the chance to have exposure and future earning potential. The group performs secret rites. Okay, yeah, Neal Lane's got the secret rites of an engagement ring. Anyway, so let's go to this other article. The Bachelor contestants are sleep and food deprived to fuel drama, says the report. Bachelor's tricky production, where scenes are manipulated and contestants are typecast, is by now well known to those who watch the show. Shocking new claims have rocked the show, with insiders telling the Daily Mail that contestants on The Bachelor are sleep deprived in order to heighten drama on the romance series. This is from 7 years ago. One former contestant told Fairfax that group dates can go for as long as 15 hours, with long days of filming taking their toll on the 12 women who go on The Bachelor. The girls are sleep deprived. I don't think this is the U.S. version, but it could be. The girls are deprived of sleep. In 3 days, 1 week, they only had 3 hours a night, which put them under an enormous amount of stress. Of course, that causes arguments, but is great for TV. There was little food and too much alcohol, so the girls were sensitive and emotional. The producers are ruthless. The producers don't like the girls being friends, and one day told them, "You're boring. You're not here to make friends. You're here to find love." All right, so, well, that's the show we watch. We put our money where our mouth is, and we enjoy it and the drama that it produces. But what we just have to remember is that even if people say or do kind of crazy things on the TV screen, they're not necessarily horrible people. Take Shanae, for example. A lot of people didn't like the way she came across on the show, but we'd have to really do a lot of psychological unpacking to look at the hierarchy that exists, the being told you're wrong, forcing someone to apologize in front of the group. Who knows what kind of triggers that could unearth? And you and I have not been in that experience, so we should not be casting stones. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, wrong one there. All right, here we go. I've got more content coming your way. I'm going to be going live right after this at 10 a.m. Pacific time, so check that out. Also, Will Smith issued an apology today. It's fascinating. I covered it on the Dave Neal Show. Go over to the Dave Neal Show. I'll post a link right there so you can go watch that coverage of Will Smith's apology to Chris Rock. I know it's 3 months in the making, but we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everybody.